Hey, today's class is going to be approximately 50 minutes long, and equipment for today, I have a set of 5-pound dumbbells, and then I also have one 3-pound dumbbell. Use any amount of weight that you're comfortable with, and we're going to set our equipment aside for now. So we'll begin our warm-up center of the room, feet straight down from the hips. Taking a big inhale as we raise the arms up overhead. Exhaling, bending the waist, bending the knees, taking the hands over the floor, and then reaching for the ceiling. Thinking about raising the hands behind the back as we have our chest down over the thighs, stretching the shoulders, and then just finding some energy out through the fingertips as we rise. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Arms stay overhead, feet step wider than hips. We hinge forward with a flat back and then just a little reach here. I'm reaching my hands out in front of me. I'm also lengthening my spine out through the top of my head, and I'm pressing my tailbone back behind me. So think about lifting the tailbone, really grounding the feet here, finding a stretch up the back of the legs as we elongate the spine. Little reach for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's hold that reach, and then without moving the lower body, we round the spine down, touching the floor, and then reach it right back out in front. Not only feeling a big stretch up the back of the legs, but we're beginning to engage the core here. So you'll feel your core bracing in all 360 degrees. We're working the back, warming up the abdominals for 4, 3, 2, last one. Let's walk our hands over to your left shin. You're gonna just do a gentle pull here. Try to keep your lower back flat as if you had a serving tray on your back, and then our torso is tracking towards the legs. So we have this nice twist happening. And I'm just doing these little gentle pulls here, just kind of guiding my chest towards my leg. 3, 2, 1, and then we'll swing over to your right leg, and then just a gentle pull here. So I just have a light touch. Try not to bounce here. So we're just gently guiding the torso over towards the leg for 3, 2, and 1. Swinging the hands to center, bending the knees as we begin to peel ourselves up one bone at a time, circling the arms up overhead. We're going to circle back down, chin towards chest, peeling ourselves down towards the mat, one bone at a time. One more time, bend the knees, gently peeling yourself up, raising the arms overhead, grabbing opposite elbow, shoulders down, and then we're just going to go side to side. Bending at the waist here, not moving the hips. So try to think about your hips staying really still. Elbows raised towards the ceiling, but the shoulders are pulling down away from the ears for 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. We're going to step the feet in, fingertips to shoulders, and then just big circles back. I always try to make the biggest circles I can. So I get my elbows really, really close, and then I take them wide out of my peripheral vision. For 4, 3, 2, last one, and float the arms down. All right, friends, let's begin. We're going to pick up our weights and just come back to the center of the room. We'll begin our class with some balance work in upper body today. Feet will step out just a little bit wider than the outside of the hips, shoulders back and down, and then arms down, palms in. We're going to begin by bending the elbows, raising the weights, and then reaching out to the side. I'm taking my arms pretty much straight out from my shoulders like the letter T, but if that's not feeling good for your shoulders, you can make more of like a Y shape like this, taking the arms slightly in front of the body. Both of those are going to be okay, and you can kind of play around and see what works best for you. We want to make sure that we're not swinging the weights here or using momentum. Nice and controlled. And you can also just do body weight. If you're not feeling like using dumbbells today, body weight is gonna work just fine. Good, let's do 4 more. Try to avoid allowing the ribs to splay here. Good, last 2. And then here's our last one. Taking the arms back down, we're gonna start with your left hand. We're going to reach over the shoulder, lower down, and then we're going to do this raise. Good, other side. We're gonna go up, lower, and raise. As we take the arm over the shoulder, I want you to really focus on no twisting or rotation in the torso. So we want to really stabilize. The height of your raise right here is going to depend on your shoulders. If you feel your shoulders shrugging up here, don't lift as high on your next one. We want to keep the shoulders relaxed and down. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Going back to your left hand, we're gonna take that weight over the shoulder, but we're gonna make a circle around the head this time. Other side. Really bracing the rest of the body here so we don't have any rocking or shifting in the upper body. I feel a lot of glutes here as I stabilize, trying to keep anything else from moving. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Let's take the hands. We're gonna go up overhead. We're gonna lower down and then creasing from the hips, pushing your tailbone back behind you, finding a hinge. So we're gonna go up and hinge. Not a squat here. So a hinge is just a bend from the waist and then we're lifting the tailbone. Chest comes down, back stays flat. Let's do 4 more. So feeling a lengthening in the glutes and hamstrings right here as we bend. Good, last 2. And last one. Good, bringing it up. From here, we're gonna take the weights up to the shoulders and then let's step your right foot. We're gonna step back so that our heels make a 90-degree bend and then we're going to sit, step it back, weights down. Other side. Good, so on our squat, try to keep chest up, eyes up, and think about like you're sitting in a chair. So feeling also a lot of inner thighs here as we do this pivot into our squat. Good, let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Taking it back to center. We're gonna bring the weights to heart and then I want you to find your balance on your right leg. So we're gonna take that left foot out to the side, shoulders right over hips, floating the leg up. Let's flex the foot. From here, we're going to bring our knee in front of the hip socket and then I want you to elongate the leg out to the side. Good, so think about really elongating the leg out away from the body as you take the leg side. And we're not curling forward at all here as we lift the knee. So think about keeping your spine really long. Good, let's do 4 more. Foot is flexed. Last 2. And last one. Holding the leg side, we're gonna just do these little tiny lifts. So try to keep your foot parallel over the floor. Try not to allow for external rotation. Your toes will point up. It looks like this. So think about keeping your knee pointed straight ahead. Whoops, Little lift for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna hold it here, and then let's bend the leg in half and just a little press back. Like you're trying to stamp a footprint on the wall or whatever you have behind you, just a little press. Good, and try to keep that knee lifted out to the side. Whoops, little press back for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring that foot down, taking the right leg out to the side, raising the foot, flexing the foot. We're going to begin by bringing the knee right in front of the hip socket, and then we lengthen away from the body. Hand side. Lots of sneaky core work here. Feeling the outside of the thigh, making sure we don't have that external rotation. Good, let's do 4 more. You can always hold on to a bar here if you need to. Set your weights aside, that'll be fine. 2. And last one. We're gonna take it out to the side and then just little tiny lifts. As we're lifting, we're still thinking about stretching that leg out nice and straight. And it's normal for one side to have better balance than the other, or more balance. Good, little lift for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna bend the knee in half and then a little press back, as if you were trying to stamp your footprint on the wall behind you, so feeling lots of glutes here. Little press, you got this. Press for 4, 3, 2, last one, and then stepping the foot wide, finding our weight centered between both feet. We're gonna slowly peel ourselves down to the floor, dropping the weights, bending the knees, and then just rolling up slowly. Shoulders roll back. All right, friends, great work. We're going to head over to our bar now. Bar work for today. I have my 3-pound weight. If you're mirroring me, your bar will go on your left-hand side, stepping the feet out wide and then externally rotating from the hips. Light touch on the bar and then arm down, shoulders back. Let's begin by bending the knees as we circle the arm up overhead, and then we're going to do this little bend behind the head and rise. On the bend, try to keep your elbow right over your shoulder. A good way to check that is just placing a hand across your forehead. Helps you find that alignment. We're being really careful that we're not leaning the head forward as we bend the arm like this. So try to keep the spine nice and long. And then ribs really pulling in here. We want to be bracing the core, supporting our spine, keeping our pelvis neutral. Good, let's do 4 more. 3. Here's 2. And then our last one. Good, we're gonna bend, taking the arm up overhead, and then just a bend and extend. Try to keep shoulders right over hips. I noticed I was kind of leaning towards the bar, so you wanna keep this really straight up and down. Good, bend, extend. Let's add a little dip if you want to, you don't have to. So we're thinking lift, dip, bend, dip, really controlled. Good, couple more. Let's do 4 more. 2. And last one. Taking the arm overhead, we're gonna take this outside leg, stepping back behind our inside foot closest to the bar, arm goes out, and then we step it out to second. Good, finding this curtsy lunge, making sure we still have that external rotation in the hips. So my leg that steps back, my knee is pointed slightly out towards the center of the room. My inner thigh points straight ahead. And my back heel stays lifted. Arm is going to about chest height. Let's do 4 more. Last two. And last one. Good, we're gonna take it back to that curtsy lunge. So from here, hips point straight ahead. We're going to pull the weight towards our shoulder, hinging forward as we extend the arm. On the hinge, neck stays in line with spine, so your gaze will come down to the floor, just a couple feet in front of your forward toes. Lifting the tailbone on that hinge. 4 more. Good, last 2. And last one. Let's take it back to our hinge, and then from here, we're going to just bend, extend the arm. I'm trying to keep my arm still from shoulder to elbow. I'm keeping this external rotation, and my neck is in line with spine. Good. Let's add a little dip here. So we're keeping our hinge. If you need to, you can bring your chest up here. Hinge is optional. If it's not working for you, that's okay. For 4, 3, 2, last one. We're gonna hold the arm back, and then from here, we're going to rise, pushing the arm out in front, step it out to second, circle back to curtsy, pull it in, and hinge. So we're gonna go out, second, curtsy, hinge. Good, so watch that back hip. Try to keep that external rotation. Good, let's do 4 more. 3. Good, last 2. Good, let's do 1 more. Good, holding it here, shoulders down. We're gonna take the weight up. So my hand is right over my shoulder, forward heel lifts if you want, and then just a little dip. Little tiny dip, weight is evenly distributed between the balls of the feet, shoulders down. Good, you got this. Couple more. Dip 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on up, good work. You can set your weight aside. Both hands on the bar, feet in parallel, creasing from the hips as we walk our feet back. So my tailbone is pointed straight back behind me, and I'm thinking about lengthening my spine. Let's heel toe feet out wider than hips, and then we curl the tailbone up to the ceiling. And then letting your chest sink down to the floor. So this one feels really nice if you have a sedentary job and you're sitting a lot. It kind of pulls open the chest here. And then let's go back to neutral. We're gonna take left hand, reach for right big toes, and then we're looking under our underarm for the ceiling. And try to keep your lower back flat, like you had a serving tray resting on your back. Good, let's switch. Left hand up, right hand goes down. We're looking for the ceiling under our underarm, and we're trying to keep the neck in line with spine. So avoid head hanging down. Good, and then let's replace the hand. Heel toe, feet under hips, and then just roll it up slowly and pedal the heels. My feet are back behind my hips, so my body's on this diagonal. And if you're not feeling calves and hamstrings, you can step your feet back a little bit more. Pedal for 4, 3, 2, 1 more at each side. And come on up. All right, friends, we're going to repeat that series for the other side. So switching our bar, walking the feet out wider than hips with an external rotation, arm down, shoulders back. Let's begin by bending the knees, circling the arm up overhead, and then we bend, extend, rise. And remember, we want to keep the elbow right over the shoulder. If you want, you can put a hand up to see what that feels like. It's a really helpful way to get some feedback here. And then we're also being mindful that we're not moving the head forward as we bend the arm. So if for some reason you're not able to bend your arm without moving your head, you're just not going to bend as much. We want to make sure we're not moving here and rounding the neck forward. Neutral pelvis, tailbone points straight down. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, 1 more. We're going to take it back down. So bending the knees, holding it here, and then just a bend, extend. And again, if you want, you can just put the back of your hand across your forehead, then extend. And then add, if you want, a little dip. Try to make it the same every time. So we're just going down an inch, up an inch. We're not bouncing. Couple more here. Let's do 4 more. 3, keeping the ribs pulling in. 2. Last one. Good job. From here, we're going to take our outside foot and step it back, circling the arm and raising the weight about chest height, and then take it back out to second with the arm overhead. Maintaining that external rotation, so my back knee is pointed slightly out. I always think about, I'm trying to point my inner thigh straight ahead of me. Keeping that back heel lifted as we step into our curtsy lunge. Good, let's do 4 more. Make sure you're not swinging that weight. We're controlling it. We're not using momentum. 2. And last one, let's hold it here. Hips point straight ahead. We have external rotation here, shoulders down. Pulling the weight to shoulder, we raise the tailbone, hinging from the hips as we extend the arm. Lifting it a little bit higher than your back if you can. Try to keep the arm really close to the side of your body as you extend, so it's not going out like this wide. So you want to think about passing right next to your hip as you extend. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. We're going to hold it back. So from here, shoulders down away from the ears, come onwards. And then we're going to just bend and extend the arm. Working the triceps here. You're also going to feel your glute on the side closest to the bar and probably a little bit of hamstring. Bend, extend. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to hold it here, and then we're going to do that combination. So we're going to bring the chest up, pushing the arm out in front. We circle the arm up overhead as we step the feet wide, stepping back to our curtsy, hinge and kick back. Out, circle, circle. Nice and controlled. Try not to rush or power through. Hinge, out, circle second, circle curtsy. Good work, friends. We're going to do 4 more. 3, last 2. Here's our last one. Holding it here in our curtsy lunge. Arm goes up overhead. I have my weight right over my shoulder, lifting the forward heel, and then just a little dip. Good, so see if you can elongate your spine, thinking crown of head up to the ceiling, shoulders down, ribs pull in. See if you can lift your heels a little higher for our last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work, come on up. Setting the weight aside, both hands on the bar. Walking the hips back, tailbone is going to point straight back behind you. And then we heel toe the feet out wider than hips. Lifting the tailbone up towards the ceiling and then letting your underarms and your chest sink down towards the floor. Good. Couple breaths here. One more breath. And then we're going to take that dip out of the spine. So we're going to go neutral, tailbone point straight back. And then let's take the left hand, reaching for right toes. And we're keeping the hips flat. What I see a lot is this hip drops down. So try to keep this level and think about your twist coming from above your belly button. Good, let's switch hands. Slowly reaching for that opposite toe. We're looking up for the ceiling or at the wall, wherever your gaze lands. But we want to think about that twist coming all the way up into the neck. Good, one more breath. And then replace the hand, bending the knees as we heel toe, feet under hips. And then we roll it up slowly. My feet are back behind my hips and I have my heels on the floor. We're gonna just do a little pedal, stretching the back of the legs. Pedal 4, 3, 2, 1 more each side. Good, and bring it up. All right, friends, excellent work. We are going to come down to the mat for the rest of our class, and you don't need any equipment today, just your mat. Floor work today is going to be no equipment, body weight only. We're going to begin by coming to all fours. So walking the hands, so they're right under the shoulders and then knees under hips. Let's take one leg back. And then from here, we're gonna float the opposite arm out in front, palm down. And then we're going to begin with just a shoulder rotation, pressing the palm back, taking the arm straight out from the shoulder, and then we rotate palm down as we bring the arm back up by the ear. Good, so a lot happening here. Finding your balance. We're elongating out through the fingertips and out through the toes. We're thinking about keeping our ribs pulling in and our shoulders away from the ears. Good, let's do 4 more. 2, and last one. Now, either holding the arm up by your ears or bringing the hand down, we're gonna just begin with some leg lifts. Be really careful that you're not locking your elbow joint on your supporting arm, so just keep a tiny bend. Lift and tap. I'm trying to keep my big toe in line with spine, so I'm not allowing my foot to go out to the side. Good, lift and tap. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. We're gonna float the leg back up, and then from here, lengthening out arm and leg, we're going to inhale. As you exhale, rounding the spine, tailbone tucks under as we bring the knee to the hand, and then we elongate. So we're rounding the spine, cat stretch on the exhale. Inhale, lengthen. 4, 3, 2, last one. Let's hold it out, and then from here, just the leg. We're going to bend knee to knee, lift, extend. Try to keep your shoulders the same height. Don't let this one creep up on you. So you want to keep your chest and your hips pointed straight down. Bend, extend. For 4. And we're trying to take the leg straight back. It's not about the height of the leg, it's about the length. 2. And last one. Let's hold the leg out and then just a little tiny lift with the arm and the leg. Little micro lift. You got this. Little lift for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hand down, bring the knee down, take the knees wide, and then just walk your hips back. Good, walking the hands out in front of you. I always feel a really nice stretch in the side body here as I walk my fingertips out and press the tailbone back. Deep breath. And then from here, we're going to shift our hips forward, walking the knees in. So the knees are directly under the hips again, and then spread the fingers wide, press into the mat, toes tuck under. And then from here, we're going to do a little hover plank series. So I want you to think about lifting with your core. We're going to inhale, lift the knees, exhale, lower. Inhale up, exhale down. Try to keep your shoulders right over wrists. My weight always tends to kind of shift forward, and then I end up with my shoulders over my fingertips. So try to be really mindful of your position here. Now, either keep these going or we're gonna add on. So when we lift, we're gonna do a little press out. Press. Good, so we're just adding some glutes, some inner thighs. Good, 4 more. Last 2. Good, and last 1. Bring it down, sit back on your heels, maybe circle the hands a little bit. And then we're going to repeat that series for the second side of the body. So I'm just gonna turn my body so you can see, placing the hands under the shoulders, knees directly under the hips, and then we're gonna take the opposite leg back, and then the opposite side of the body, arm reaches out in front, palm is down. From here, we're gonna point the toe, elongate out through the fingers, and then a shoulder rotation, pressing the palm back as we take the arm out to that 90-degree angle. Good, so try to keep the shoulders level, the hips level. So think of your back like a tabletop, right? So we wanna keep everything nice and square. For 4, 3, 2, last 1. Arm goes back up by the ear, and then we're gonna float the leg up, tap the toes. All 5 toes, the tops of your toes will be touching the floor. We wanna make sure we don't have any rotation in the hip, knee points straight down. You are welcome to bring that hand down if you need to. Good, let's do 4 more. Nice and slow. 2, 1. And then we're gonna take the leg back up. Big inhale, elongating, and then as we exhale, we're going to round the spine up towards the ceiling as we reach for our knee. Exhale, inhale, lengthening. Making sure we're not locking that supporting elbow joint. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, last 1. We're gonna hold the arm out or bring it down if you need to, and then just the leg. We bend knee to knee, lift, extend. So much upper body work happening here. For 4, 3, 2, last 1. We're gonna hold the leg up, reach arm and leg out, and then just a little tiny lift. Make your lift super, super tiny so we're not changing the shape of the spine here. If you feel your back arching on the lifts, take your leg down a little bit, and the arm, just work a little lower for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Replacing the hand, and then walking the knees wide, big toes together. We're gonna sit our hips back on our heels and then just walk the hands out. You can rest your forehead on your mat here. Good, couple breaths, pressing the tailbone back behind you. 1 more breath, and then we'll slowly walk the hands in. We're gonna shift our hips forward, walking the knees in, so knees are directly under the hips, and then hands under the shoulders. We're gonna roll our shoulders back and down, press into the mat, and then toes tuck under. Inhale, think about lifting with the core as you raise the knees. Exhale down. And remember, shoulders right over wrists. My weight always tends to want to shift forward. If I don't pay attention, my shoulders end up in front of my fingertips. So we want to always watch for that. Feeling lots of quads. Good. And then if you want to add on, we're going to lift, press, in, tap. Or you're just doing your knee lifts. Good, you got this. Let's do 4 more. Last 2. And last one. Good job. Bringing the knees down, sitting back on the heels, and then just a little circle with the wrists. All right, friends. Let's make our way to seated. And I'm going to bring my feet to the very end of my mat so I have a lot of space behind me. And then we're going to sit up nice and tall, neutral pelvis, neutral spine, and then just hold on behind the thighs here. We're going to begin by really bracing the core here and then just finding this slight lean. So you're only going back as far as you can go without tucking the tailbone under and without changing the shape of your spine. So you're gonna kind of play around and just feel like, oh, whoops, here I feel like my spine's rounding. So I'm gonna come up a little bit. Floating the hands over the knees, shoulders down. We're going to begin by just raising one arm up overhead, raise the other arm, and then both come down. So we're gonna start with the opposite side. So we're gonna go up, up, both go down. I'm alternating which hand I lift first. Top of head pointed up to the ceiling. Nice and slow. Let's do 4 more. Try to keep your feet pressing into the floor. Mine feel like they want to lift up, so I'm going to really press them firmly into the floor. Good, last 2. Last one. And then we're going to take both arms up overhead from here, taking the elbows wide. We're circling the hands out as we pull the elbows in and then circle the hands up. So elbows to ribs and circle. Get a nice big reach here as you sweep the arms up. Feels really nice on the shoulders, creating some space in the joints. Good, 4 more. 3. My palms are always pointing in front of me. 2. And last one. Now, arms up overhead. From here, you're going to take one hand behind you, reaching for the back corner of your mat, and then the opposite hand comes down over the knees. We're going to twist back up and switch. Keeping that long, neutral spine. Try to keep your lower body and your hips really still. Twisting from above the waist. And I'm kind of looking over my shoulder. I'm looking for that back corner of the mat that I'm reaching for. Good, let's do 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Bring it back to center, and then from here, we're gonna slowly lower the arms. I want you to do a little spinal articulation. So we're gonna tuck the tailbone, rolling down slowly, one bone at a time. So slowly rolling back, back, back. We're gonna take the arms up overhead, and then bringing the hands behind your head for support. Let's bring our left leg up, leg is bent, right leg comes up, big toes together, and then we're gonna externally rotate, keeping the knees over the hip socket or out a little bit. And then from here, you can either keep your head on the mat or you can lift the shoulders if you want to. We're gonna take the feet apart, lowering, and then we tap, circle down, tap up. tap lower, tap lift. Good, so really getting into the lower abs. I want you to focus on keeping a neutral pelvis here. So we're not tucking, we're not pressing the low back into the mat. Let's do 4 more. 3. Head can come down if you need to. 2. And last one. Good, let's hug the knees in to the chest and then just a gentle rock side to side. Good work, friends. We're gonna come back to center and then just gently making our way up to seated, however it feels comfortable for you. Let's take your right leg out to the side, grounding the sit bones. We reach for the toes and then opposite arm is going to reach up and over for the top corner of the room. So I feel this stretch in my low back and then in my inner thigh, also side body. And then we're gonna take the arm down, reach across the chest. Torso is tracking over the leg and we still have both sit bones pressing into the floor. Let's take another breath here. And then we're gonna bring our opposite leg out. So we're gonna switch, grounding the sit bones, reaching for the toes, and then we reach up for the top corner of the room. Good, let's take the arm, sweep it across the chest, reaching for the toes. Nose towards knee, doesn't have to get anywhere close, but just so we're tracking in that direction, good. One more breath here. And then we're gonna bring our chest up, taking the opposite leg out wide, flexing the feet. Let's do a big inhale, arms reach up overhead. As you exhale, we fold forward and then swing to your favorite foot, taking the opposite elbow up to the ceiling and swing through center as we switch. Try to keep both sit bones grounded here. Good, one more to each side. And last one. We're gonna swing to center. Inhale the arms up overhead, take the feet together. From here, exhale, point the toes, round the belly, arms at your sides. Inhale up, flex feet, exhale, fold forward, flat back, and then inhale up, exhale, round, point the feet. Inhale up, exhale, fold with flat back over flex feet. So let's hold it here for a second, and then I want you to see if you can grow a little bit taller, elongating the spine. Really feel that stretch up the back of the legs, making sure we're not rounding here. Just a little reach. Let's hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and hands to your side. Give your legs a little shake out, maybe point and flex the feet. All right, friends, excellent work. That is it for our class. I will see you next workout.